Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this.
Oh dear, do I really need such a cringe intro? I don't know. Let's start the video.
Many of you know that most of my videos are recorded right here in my home studio in the Netherlands. But I'm not always inside. I'm not always glued to my keyboard. Nah, sometimes I'm out there, exploring the world around me. And I have a fascination for creepy abandoned places. So today I want to take you into another part of my life. I hope you like this kind of content too, so thank you very much for watching and have fun. Bye.
Here I am. This is one of the things I do in my life. I sometimes explore creepy, abandoned places. The decay, the tranquility, and the mystery of these places fascinates me. Yes, this can be pretty risky, so yes, I'm very careful. In this particular case, I'm exploring an abandoned factory near the German-Polish border.
So by now you understand I got this hobby which is called urban exploring. Yes, I scout, I find and I enter abandoned buildings. Some of them have been empty for decades. Right now I'm in a factory that has been closed 30 or 40 years ago. Now, whenever I visit a building, I leave it as it is. I don't climb any fences. I don't break into doors or windows. If there is a note telling me to keep out, I keep out. Yes, urban exploring is a wildly entertaining and fascinating hobby, but of course there are some risks involved. I could walk into the police, security, drug addicts, dogs. I've seen it all. And whenever I see drug addicts and their dogs, I walk away. Whenever I see the police or security, I walk towards them. I tell them I'm here to take pictures and videos. And I ask them if it's okay for me to stay. And if they tell me to leave, I'm out. That's how it works for me. I've been doing this for many, many years. And I never ever got into any kind of trouble. So let's go explore this abandoned factory.
This was a place where I needed to be very careful. Many floors and walls had collapsed over the years. There were deep holes in the ground everywhere, and the whole complex was shattered with rubble and dangerous objects. One small misstep could lead to great misfortune. Sometimes you walk into these creepy drawings. You see them a lot in these abandoned buildings. It's as if this guy is staring at something in the next room. These places give you the feeling that you're being watched all the time, which doesn't make sense. If it's an abandoned building, nobody should be there to watch you. At this point, I heard some creaking noise upstairs. That's one of the problems with these old, abandoned buildings. They make inexplicable sounds all the time.
Yeah, this place pretty much gives me the creeps.
The thing is, sometimes you're not alone. These places are visited regularly by explorers just like me, but sometimes people come here to dump their hazardous waste, or they choose this place to spend the night because they have no place to go. Or sometimes they use abandoned places to store illegal substances. So you can imagine why I prefer to remain unseen in places like these.
That is why I never walk wooden floors in abandoned buildings. That is why I never visit abandoned buildings at night. There are holes in the ground everywhere. Well, this place has been set on fire, not once, not twice, but numerous times. There are literally thousands of these abandoned buildings. They're not being demolished, they're just here, rotting away. Within a few decades, it will be nothing but rubble. Look, this is getting more and more interesting. I just found parts of the administration of the factory dating back to 1982. Look, there it is, a 1982 timestamp. I absolutely love the graffiti behind me. Have a look. I don't know what that is, but they turned it into a real work of art. It's so weird. It looks as if they've been leaving the factory in a hurry. Everything was left behind. Shall I open up the fridge? It's empty. I suppose because of all the wires and the electronics, this must have been some kind of control room. There are no fences, there is no security, there's no police. I can go wherever I want to. There is no one here, and no one cares that I'm here.
Yes, I was wrong. I would soon find out that I was wrong. In advance, I was warned not to walk inside these bridges that connect the buildings, because some of them are on the verge of collapse. So, don't enter those bridges.
And I won't. They look far too dangerous to me. Especially that one.
However, I was told it should be possible to have an up-close look at the top bridge by climbing a narrow staircase to the 10th floor, and I found that staircase. After a relatively long climb, I reached the top floor, and again there were holes in the ground everywhere. And mind you, these holes were about 100 feet deep, so one misstep could lead to a very unfortunate conclusion of this exploration. I was very curious to see more construction details of how the bridge was built, and what I already thought turned out to be true. The construction seemed to be very shallow and minimalistic. Even in its heydays, it must have been scary to walk this bridge.
This is where my journey ends. I'm not going to walk that bridge. It's too dangerous.
This is where things took another turn. I heard voices outside of the building.
It's been a great adventure, but I think it's time to go now. I've seen some other guys at the other end of the facility. I don't know if they're security or if they are explorers just like I am, but I guess I'm not gonna wait to find out. So let's hit it. Let's go.
I had been exploring the facility for a couple of hours alone, but now I had company, and I couldn't figure out what kind of guys I was dealing with. But it looked as if they had big bags and tools with them, and that is not a good sign. So it was time to leave. When you are exploring abandoned places, most of the time you are alone. But once in a while, there are other people as well. And sometimes it's hard to judge what kind of people they are and if they could cause trouble or danger. I think this time I was dealing with thieves who tried to scrap the remaining metal parts of the buildings. I've run into thieves before, and they usually don't respond very well. On top of that, these guys were drawing attention to the place by making a lot of noise. So it was time to leave. But not to worry, because I had explored this place for hours. Give me enough footage to make this video for you. Thanks for watching. Please stick around to read my 5 golden rules of urban exploring. I've lived by those rules for 20 years now, and it helps me to keep my explorations legal, safe, and respectful. And while you're here, you might want to consider to subscribe to my channel, because you'd like to see more videos of an older guy who tries to make the most out of this silly and confusing life.